Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to podcast number 60, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. I'm your host, Ron Jeremy. I'm just kidding. I'm not Ron Jeremy. That's my icebreaker. I got to break the ice in the intro. What's up, everyone? Like I said, this is podcast number 60. I can't believe this is podcast number 60. This is crazy. Time flies when you're having fun and talking video games.
That is correct.
Yeah, our special guest is running late, and Eric Jackson will be joining us as well. And John, Mr. Megada, has a night off this evening, or he may pop in. But yeah, we got some great topics to talk about tonight. We're going to be talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, Sony's new IP, which is garnered a lot of really, really strong reviews. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about Crash Bandicoot. And we'll be talking about something that came up more recently on the Twitters and on the internet. We'll be talking about Microsoft's exclusives and have a conversation about that and Sony's exclusive content as well. But other than that, let's go ahead and get the show started. Make some quick introductions. We got B Money. B Money, what's up, man?
Not much, man. How's it going?
It's going, man. It's going. Well, like I said, always good talking video games, man.
That's right, man. The onslaught continues. We got some big games coming up in the next 30 days or so. So I'm looking forward to what March brings and the end of February. So, let's get to it.
Yeah, definitely. And we have my brother from Rivia, Sam. What's up, Sam?
Hey, everybody. How are you? Hide your wallet, for the love of God, if you have anything left. Because looks like we have some open world games that are sweeping in over the next month and a half to claim whatever's left. So hide your wallet, please.
Hide your wallet, hide your kids. Oh my God, that is so, Sam. That is so true, man. Like we have so many games, so many. Like we have two open world games coming up. We have Horizon Zero Dawn, which launches next week. Oh, 3. Horizon Zero Dawn launches next week. We have Mass Effect Andromeda, which comes out March. I forget the exact date.
21st.
21st.
Yeah. So, I'm actually one of the. I'm actually pre-ordered the Nintendo Switch, so that's coming March 7th, along with Zelda Breath of the Wind. Is it Breath of the Wind or Beast of the... I always forget.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
See, I fuck it up. Thank you. Keep thinking about that sex scene in Wolfenstein. That's why.
Oh my God.
Of course.
Yeah, if you guys haven't... You know what? We'll talk about that later. Yeah, so 3 open world games coming up. And the onslaught doesn't stop. It just keeps coming and coming. Sam, you mentioned Prey's coming out in May?
Yep.
Shit.
Early May, too.
I'm going to have to get a second job, man, or something. I'm going to have to get a second job.
Prey comes out in May. We got Persona and
Persona 5 April. Yep.
And Nier, it comes out 4 days after Zelda. So,
yeah,
it's definitely a lot to play. So,
you know what, guys? We do this every podcast. We talk about all the games that are coming out.
What's going on, guys?
What up, E?
There he is.
What's up, E?
Chilling, man.
He's you. Dude, I got your message, man. I appreciate you joining us. So you had to dock the yacht. That's not easy to do, man. It takes skills.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah,
Hey, let me ask you something, Eric.
Yep.
What do you do with the half-empty bottles of Cristal, man? Do you throw it away?
No, you recycle, man.
You recycle.
10 cents a bottle.
There you go.
I put them in a little red wagon and I walk them down the street.
There you go. 10 cents to...
Man, you guys got to excuse me. The sniffles and the stuffy. I'm fighting off something, so I don't know if I'll stay the whole night, but I wanted to jump in for a bit.
Hey, you know what you need, man? You need some liquid codeine. That's what you need.
Yeah, man. It's 7-Up.
There you go. Yeah, I have
I
some.
don't know anything about
Rancher, man.
Yeah, don't lie. He's like, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, actually, I do have some prescription codeine liquid cough syrup at my house.
You sitting on some change then, man.
Dude, I got my cup right here with my Jolly Rancher. So hey, big shout out to everyone in the live chat right now. We have Mike, aka Inferno from TXR's on. What's going on, man? Anchor's in the house, and everyone else who will be joining us shortly. We'll probably have the usual suspects. But why don't we start with what everyone's playing like we do every week? B-Money, why don't we start with you, man? What are you playing right now?
I actually haven't been playing much of anything. Work has been crazy, running to doctor's appointments with my wife, pregnancy stuff and whatnot. But I've been playing a little bit of Zestiria, trying to get that knocked out still. I hopped on Yakuza Zero for a little bit just to check that out. Everybody's been talking about how great of a game it is, so I popped it in for a bit.
Hey, B-Money, let me ask you something real quick, man, about that game in particular, because I'm playing that too. Doesn't it feel like the spiritual successor to Shenmue?
It does. It definitely has that feeling. Just it's a little bit more action based.
Yeah.
And just some goofy things to do in there. So it's good fun.
Yeah, I like the karaoke.
Yeah. Yeah, the dance moves and stuff.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not a good game like that. Let's just karaoke, man.
Yeah, and the one thing about Yakuza is that it's really only been like a Japanese franchise. It usually only releases in Japan, and they're starting to bring it back. So I think this year, along with Yakuza Zero, they remade the first one, which will release this year, and then I think Yakuza 5 or 6 is releasing at the end of the year. So there'll be 3 Yakuza games that'll be coming to the West this year, which is pretty big.
Yeah, Yakuza's like you said, but you know what? It's had a cult following in the West, but like you said, it's been primarily released in Japan. And dude, I'm glad they released Zero here.
Oh yeah,
because it's a good game. Like I said, it for me, it's definitely kind of reminds me of Shenmue. And the action's a lot of fun, and I think the story's great. The story's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to jump back on that one soon, man. Just all over the place with this backlog.
You and everyone else, man. Yeah. So B-Money, is that it, man? As far as what you're playing right now, just Yakuza?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm trying to jump into some other stuff, but that's pretty much it for now.
All right, man. Sounds good. All right, Sam, what about you, man?
Okay, so I've actually had some time to play some games this week. So the first one I've been playing is a very interesting platformer called Typo Man, or Typo Man Revised is the full title. Have any of you seen it or played that? Or
Nope.
No, I've heard of it, but I've not played it.
Okay, yeah. So word is spreading about it. It's a very interesting indie platformer. It's available on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and Wii U. Yeah, you heard that right. The Wii U actually got a game release, which is astounding. But so it's very Limbo inspired. 2D platformer, obviously very eerie world, uncomfortable setting. Very angular, sharp creature designs. But it's very different. That's actually where the similarities end, because the gameplay is focused around spelling out words to solve your problems. So, for example, in a chamber filled with poisonous gas, in a mine that you're trying to get through, you might be able to spell the word gasp or breathe, and that helps you for a bit. Or the word cut to cut down a rope. But the problem is a word could hurt you or it could help you. So it's very... I'm trying to think of the exact way to describe it. It can be difficult. You'll die a lot, trying to solve all the puzzles. But it's very interesting. If you like Limbo, I would definitely recommend you check it out. And I'm actually wrapping up my review of it, right? Or not wrapping up, but typing up my review of it right now. So that's the first thing I've been playing. And then the other one is Halo Wars 2. So I could probably talk about that all night, so I'll try and rein it in. But I would like to say that I'm happy to say that 343 finally has a story that, in my opinion, is on par with, if not better than, the Bungie era.
Dude, that's all right. That's a pretty big statement, man.
Halo 4 had a good story. It was decent. Halo 5 suffered, especially if you weren't aware of the outside lore. This, even if you're not aware of, even if you don't want to play, an RTS game, I highly recommend you look up the cutscenes. Because this is going to be very important. I don't want to spoil anything. The game just came away, but it's going to be very important for the world moving forward. And this is probably the most, I would say, well put together story they've had since Halo 3.
That's good,
It's
man.
Reach. It definitely beats Reach.
Wow, that's good. That's encouraging. Nice. That's definitely encouraging. Yeah, because 5 story was a letdown for me. I think we can all agree with that. I think we've talked about this before. But that's that's encouraging. I'm excited to hear that. I might have to check that out. Put that on my on the back burner of games that I need to play later on.
Never-ending back burner.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah. So is that it, Sam, in terms of what you're playing right now?
Yeah, that's pretty much everything I've been playing. I mean, I've been playing a little bit of Uncharted, a little bit of Gears, but I'm always playing, the multiplayer for those two. So
yeah, gotcha. All right, cool. E-Money, what about you, man?
Let's see. Well, over the weekend, I finished off Resident Evil Remastered, and this week decided to jump into Dishonored 2, and just getting in preparation for next week for Horizon.
Man, when are you gonna get Resident Evil 7, man?
It's no more after Horizon.
Oh my goodness!
Dude, I'm serious, man. No, I made like a promise to myself and making a concentrated effort. I said, if I don't start going into the backlog, I'm never going to get into some of those games that I've got over like Black Friday that I really wanted to get into, because we're never going to stop having a game to play. That's just the reality of 2017.
True. It's a crazy year.
And we haven't even hit E3 yet. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I'm a big Dishonored fan. I said, you know what? It's been sitting there looking at me. I said, I got to jump on this game. Yeah. So Resident Evil 7 is going to happen. It will happen. I might be late to the party, but I said, hey, there's always going to be some hype game that we're all playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm doing my best not to spoil it for you, man. It might slip one day, though.
Hey. It happened, man. Just, yeah. I'll just hang up on you. Or mute you, block you, whichever way you decide to try to deliver that information.
Twitter. Eric's gonna block me on Twitter. He's gonna be like, What happened? Why'd you block Enrique? He spoiled Resident Evil 7 for me, bastard."
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Cool. All right. So that's it in terms of games.
That's it for right now, man.
All right. Awesome, man. Well, I've been playing like B-Money Yakuza 0 for. Actually, I was playing Gravity Rush 2, and I was like, you know what? I feel like a little story like driven game. I needed that, right? I just need that fix. So I popped in Yakuza, and I've been loving Yakuza. Like I said earlier, definitely like that spiritual successor to Shenmue. Like even some of the combat kind of reminds me, like the fact that you run into like hooligans and stuff. You got to fight them. Kind of reminds me of Shenmue a little bit. So I'm definitely enjoying it. Although I'm not. This is the last week that I'll be playing it, because as we all know, Horizon Zero Dawn comes out. And, yes, and so holy I mean, so the reviews came out this week, and
but before you jump in there, let me just throw this out there.
Yeah.
If you have not purchased or pre-purchased your Horizon and you're going to go physical, Target is having buy two get one next week. So if you missed some games that you kind of overlooked or didn't have the funds for it, it's probably the best time to hop on that, get Horizon, and pick up something else and grab another one for free. So
they're also doing it on digital. They're doing it on digital too.
Quick. Yeah, quick question about that though. If you do that, is the cheapest game the free one?
Yes.
Okay. Because all right,
that's usually how those things go.
Yeah. I figured.
Yeah, it's always the cheapest one that's free.
Yeah. So yeah, but this is like kind of a first, and they're buy two get one where they actually included digital.
Yep. So it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually not a bad deal. Damn. I haven't purchased a digital game in a long time. I think for Horizon Zero Dawn's gonna be the first digital game that I purchased in some time because I actually took off work on the 28th so that I can play it all day. So I'm gonna download that shit at midnight, and I'm gonna be streaming it live, people. I'm gonna stream it live at midnight. So come check me out. I hope I don't fall asleep in the middle of the stream because midnight's a little late for me on the weekday. You might hear me snoring.
I get that coffee, man.
Yeah, right. I need some coffee. Yeah. So Horizon Zero Dawn comes out. Reviews dropped this week, and wow, I mean, what great reviews for this game. It's new. It's a new IP for Sony. New game for Guerrilla Games. For those of you who might not be familiar with Guerrilla, they're more well known for the Killzone franchise. I've actually only played Killzone 2. Yes, thank you, Sam. Yes, and I've only have you guys played all the Killzones? I've only played 2, and I played a little bit of Killzone Shadowfall.
I played actually no, I didn't play the first one. I didn't play the very first one. I played 2, 3, and a little bit of Shadowfall.
I've only played Shadowfall. I've played quite a bit of Shadowfall, but that's the only one I've played.
I beat 2, beat Shadowfall, tried to beat 3, but at the time PS3 had like some retarded like update to where like you try to play 3 and throw the game in there and like the screen would just go black and you couldn't fix it. So I never got to finish 3. So thank you, Sony, for checking out the
game. You know what's interesting? This game, has been in development for, I believe Guerrilla announced this back in 2011 at GDC that they were working on this new IP. So
yeah,
5-6 years in the making, and the reviews have been stellar. I think it's trending. It's at 88% Metacritic. I think same for OpenCritic as well. But I mean,
use OpenCritic. Use OpenCritic, people.
But yeah, I mean, you know what's amazing, guys, is that Guerrilla, and I think this speaks to some of the talent that Sony has in its portfolio of first-party developers. But I mean, Guerrilla basically just pivoted big time, went from making a shooter to making an open-world game, which we all know is really fucking expensive, number one, to make, and they take a long time to make. And they knocked it out of the park. Yeah. And so you gotta. I mean, me as a fan of gaming as the industry, I feel like you kind of have to give them the props. I mean, that's by no stretch of the imagination is that an easy thing to do. And I just think it speaks to, to the talent and the hard work of that studio. So.
Yeah, and also, I mean, considering that because of the Killzone, wherever you fall on it, some people are big fans, some, but a pretty good majority of people usually felt underwhelmed by the franchise. So they kind of had that mark already against them where most people kind of thought, wow, the guys that make Killzone are going to make an open world game. Good luck with that. I think we started seeing as time was going on, you started hearing rumblings that they were hiring, this talent to come in and help them, flesh out a story, write things, consulting people who, are quote unquote, masters of doing these types of games. Kind of shows like a bit of seriousness that they were taking it very serious and wanted this game to be, something special the first time out. Because most times you only get one chance to make a first impression.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. B-Money or Sam, if you guys want to jump in, what are your thoughts about this game?
Well, I just think it's really interesting. And this isn't so much the game, as is the developers. I think this is perfect evidence that you can't always judge 100% what a developer, what a studio, what different, engineers or whatever are capable of simply based off of what they've done. Because, I mean, it's ridiculous to me that, all right, say what you want about Killzone. I have very, very strong opinions on it. But even if you like it, clearly what they've done with Horizon blows Killzone out of the water. I don't really think that's debatable. Okay? So all this time, their efforts were being put into something that was beneath them, really, because they simply weren't being applied to the right, the right genre. And it's not a matter of engine, because Shadowfall is using the Decima engine.
Yeah,
That was the first game to
yeah.
use that engine.
Yeah.
It was built for Shadowfall. And
Yeah.
then it turns out it's actually suited for just about everything other than first-person shooters.
Mhm.
So I just think that's really interesting. That, it is such a dramatic turnaround from a studio. Because
And the talent obviously is there. I mean, again, I think Killzone's issue, I don't think it was ever really from a graphic standpoint a bad thing. Like, they always seem to be able to nail that, story.
Visually they've always put out some great visual content.
The story, you can, but I think you have to look at too. They kind of came along at a time where like Halo was king, and Sony was trying to answer that. So Sam might be right. They kind of pushed them to maybe remember.
Right.
Killzone was supposed to be the Halo killer.
Be the Halo killer, man.
Right.
Yeah, I remember when they were like saying, "Oh, this is gonna be the Halo killer." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Right.
You know what? Yeah,
that ended well.
Yeah, like, I remember it coming in. I'm like, "Not the Halo killer."
Yeah. So maybe we're seeing, but I'm sure at the same time you learn some things over doing something like that. Even though it was a first-person shooter, you kind of learn what you want to do, what you don't want to do, and maybe you are so much more than what you've had to do. So maybe that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I've always felt the talent was there. I always thought that Killzone was like a solid game. And just about any game you can kind of nitpick and say they could have did this better or that better or whatever the case is. But when they first showed off Horizon, I knew it was going to be a smash. Like when they first said that you could pre-order the collector's edition, I did. Like my pre-order is from way back last June. You know what I mean? So, to actually see that the game is getting such high praise is just it lets me know that what I believed before is true. You know what I mean? The talent was there, and to be able to, swing from a different project, from a first-person shooter to an open-world game, and still put out a great product, you know what I mean? All you can do is tip your hats off to them, because, I mean, that's a lot of hard work, and to switch genres like that is not something that you see very often in the industry. So
yeah, and to release a game like an open world game where I think that maybe there's some open world fatigue this console generation with The Witcher, to an extent Grand Theft Auto 5, with Fallout 4, with what's a new Ubisoft game? It's Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing some other open world games that have come out, but I think out of the bunch, I mean, even for what I understand, what they've been able to pull off with this game, obviously, I think in terms of storytelling in an open world setting, I think The Witcher 3 and Fallout 4 do it at least for me, have done it the best this console generation. And I would say, and I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn yet, but I've heard some people say that it does storytelling better than The Witcher 3. I'm waiting to see if that's true, because to me, The Witcher 3 is the benchmark. This console.
I feel like that's something that's going to be really objective, based off of how the story resonates with you.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, so for some people might go in there, Sam, and think, wow, this story certainly resonates with me more than The Witcher 3 does, or speaks to me more. Others may not. I'm curious to find out, though. I've heard people say Fallout 4. I think did Anchorman say he likes Fallout 4 better than Witcher 3?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not hard to though. Yeah, Anchor's Mr. Fallout, man.
Yeah, Anchor, you're on crack, by the way. I disagree with you. Strongly disagree with you. That Fallout 4 is better than The Witcher 3. I don't care about Sean. Sean wasn't that important to me in Fallout 4, but to hear people say that, though, I mean, to even like put this game, a new IP, up in the same category as Fallout 4, Witcher 3, in terms of storytelling in open world settings, pretty damn impressive. Whether or not I agree with what they're saying, that's to even hear that, I think is impressive. And I'm telling you, this is probably one of the new IPs that I was like UB Money when I first saw. I was like, ooh, okay. And then as I heard some of the talent they brought in The Witcher, or some folks that worked on The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm. to write the story, which is one of the few things that like gives those statements of the story is comparable to The Witcher 3. That does give it some credence because it's like, well, yeah, some of the same people were writing it, you know.
Okay, Anchorman, by the way, in live chat says, I never said Fallout 4 was better than Witcher 3. I consider them on par as games. I don't know. I feel like he did say that. I could be wrong. He's like, those lies being spread. That's right, Anchor. We're spreading lies up in here. Spreading lies.
Oh, Anchor, Enrique's about to go on that Costanza law. It's not a lie if you believe it.
Hey, you know what? Yeah,
That's right.
You know what, Anchor? You know what it is? It's alternative facts, baby. That's all it is.
No. Move on.
That's what it is. It's a shame, really. It's a shame. It was so. Oh God, I just lost my train of thought now. Oh yeah. So I'm excited. I'm hyped. I've been hyped for a while, and like I said, I haven't taken off work to play a game launch, in a long time. So yeah, so I'll be doing that stream at midnight, and you guys got to come join me, man. Midnight, if you guys are up.
I'll be there.
Your boss is gonna like come up to you. It's gonna be like you guys wore the same outfit. It's like, well, one of us has to change. You know, well, I downloaded the game too, so one of us has to be here.
Yeah, one of us, right? I thank God my boss doesn't game. Or else
Right.
probably, he'd be like, no, what do you mean you're taking off the 28th? I got Horizon Zero Dawn to play. Yeah. But God, there was something else I was gonna say about the game. I fucking forgot now. Anyhow, it'll probably come back to me at some point. Oh, those some of the screenshots that did you guys see that? There's some people tweeting out some of those screenshots from the PS4 Pro version.
Game looks amazing.
Yeah.
The game looks beautiful.
I have a prediction. Next week, that's all you're gonna see.
Oh yeah.
All you're gonna see from me on my timeline. People are gonna like get sick of it.
Yeah, so if you don't like that, just start getting your mute button ready.
Yeah, you know what the cool thing was that I've heard some people say that that even the base PlayStation 4 version looks good as well, which made me very happy to hear because I don't have a Pro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
same here. Same
yeah.
here.
But God, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. I had something else to say about this game, but I don't know. I'll come back.
So
to it at some point.
impression-wise, I know you guys have all been kind of checking out impressions here and there. I've been trying to still stay like on like Blackout as much as possible because I know people are out there, are rumored anyway, about there like trying to spoil the game for people, you know, the haters of the world.
Yeah.
So, but it kind of seems, you remember like a few weeks ago when that thing was going around, like that cutscene that was supposed to completely destroy the whole game for you. You know?
Oh yeah, with the guy on the ledge or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be surfacing anymore, huh?
I mean, look, did Ham Faces kill Fallout 4? No.
Ham faces.
I don't know, dude. You've been going on those ham faces for a while. I'm beginning to...
Look, tell Todd Howard with that money they just got from that settlement they just got from Facebook, they need to get a new engine. You know?
Oh, I think that's coming. I definitely think when you see Fallout again, I think Sam, you and Anchor and I talked about this. When you see Fallout again, there will not be that engine.
Oh no,
they know they can't return to that.
Death of the creation engine.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying swan song because Skyrim was the swan song of the creation engine.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout 4 was it being strangled to death.
Oh, it was with sometimes like it felt like there was like light coming to their faces, to their pores. I'm sorry, we did. I mean, oh my God,
Man. Savage,
yeah. Oh, hey,
savage, man.
Anchor's calling us filthy neutrals. That's right. Welcome to House Neutral.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, House Neutral, the place where we play video games. We're the definitive podcast on Wednesday nights.
We're gamers.
Yeah, we play.
Play video games.
Play video games.
Hey, I want to back up for a second, man. Maddie just reminded me of something further up in the chat. He said, on the 7th, the following week when Target's doing their buy two get one, that's also the same week that Nier drops.
Yeah,
that's also the same day the Switch comes out.
Busy day.
And Zelda.
Well, you don't have to worry about that because not many people are going to get their Switch. So,
Oh, I'm still getting mine. I'm telling you, I'll be there. I'll be there. Yep. So,
You'll be
all
there
right.
with the supply constrained people, aggravated, pissed off, and in line with the same people still trying to get an NES Mini.
Oh, well, didn't you hear? You're not going to. They aren't making any more.
Yeah, I heard, man. I'm like, wow.
Shocker. Thanks, Nintendo.
Thanks a lot.
I hope their E3 has puppets again, just so I can see B Money's reaction.
Nah, man.
And don't forget,
better not.
A couple weeks after that, man, you got Andromeda also.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, you brought up something interesting. You said that Bethesda is the king of open worlds, more or less.
Freedom. When it comes to freedom. In terms of how with Fallout 4 you're able to build whatever you want, do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's true.
They reign supreme when it comes to having total object creativity in your environment. And hey, what's over there? I don't know. You know what? Let's just burn a path through here, there, and find out what's at that settlement. Ooh, another settlement. Ooh, mine. The Witcher 3 succeeds on another level as an RPG because it's a more focused story.
It is, yes.
Because even the side quests, are more focused. And it sounds like Horizon, by all accounts, is an even more streamlined version. It's more focused on the story and even less focused on the side content.
Yes.
So, that comes down to personal preference. But still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I see. You're right. Fallout 4, you could build like a plunger if you wanted to. I'm exaggerating, but you could find different things to build or materials to build things. So, the only thing I can't get over with Fallout 4 again is the animation, but the facial animations. But anyhow, someone just brought up Cyberpunk 2077. Ooh,
I keep telling you, man.
Yeah, Chicken's right. Chicken says it's gonna raise the bar again.
I've been saying that too, man.
I've been saying it for forever, man.
Cyberpunk 2077 may be the closest thing we ever get to another Deus Ex game.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now.
It's better than Deus Ex, though.
It'll be way better.
Scorpio console exclusive.
No way.
If I'm not mistaken, Project Red's pretty high on the Scorpio.
On the one hand, that doesn't. I don't know. I mean, maybe what? You're right. They are very high on it. They said that they were one of the developers that were basically, if I remember the exact quote, whooping for joy when they saw the spec. So, I definitely think it'll be the lead platform. That seems definitely likely.
It'll be the lead platform.
Yeah, they also have the relationship with them.
I couldn't see them leaving that much money on the table, though.
Right.
No, I think you're right. I think it's a multi-plat, but lead console would probably and Nels Cooney's right. CD Projekt Red doesn't do exclusives. Yeah, you're right, but maybe lead console would be the Scorpio.
Yeah, lead console is very likely.
Yeah, because I do remember, like you said, Sam. I remember them being very high on the prospect or the idea of a Scorpio. So
now, when we say lead console, are we knowing how Phil feels about exclusivity, content, stuff like that? We don't foresee like any.
Man, Phil needs to chill the fuck out.
Damn. Yo, Phil's chill, man. Just everybody else is all wound up.
Yeah, Phil being in
I was about to say, what are you talking about? Phil is.
Okay, well, he needs to like.
Listen, man.
I don't agree with the third party stuff, man. You look, it benefits you to make those deals. We know that it's benefited Microsoft in the past. It's benefited Sony. Maybe it doesn't always benefit. Like that Tomb Raider deal doesn't make any sense still to me to this day. But that's another conversation.
You think Phil said that and he walked by like his boss's office and said, "Phil, can I see you for a minute?" Close the door, Phil. Come here.
He's a cool guy. All joking aside, he's a cool dude. I actually had the opportunity to hop in a party chat with him one time on Xbox Live, and he was pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty chill. He's pretty chill. Like I think we were all playing what's that game? Open world game.
Destiny?
No, not Destiny. The Destiny Killer.
There's a Destiny Killer? Oh shit, yeah.
Division, yes.
For 1 week.
For 1 week, it was a Destiny Killer.
Killer Division.
Yeah. And then we all went back. And played Destiny again.
Yeah. We were like, oh my god, can you imagine, man? They if they add weather systems to New York, it's like,
The snow was cool at first, you could hear the crunch of the snow. And after that, I
a
got
week
tired.
later, tumbleweeds.
A week later, it's like, oh, wait a minute, okay.
Hey, but the faithful are still there, man. They keep telling you it's lit up in here. Come back.
Yeah, I don't know. I was
3 people keeping the servers alive.
Yeah. I was back on Destiny. That Friday came. I was like, oh, Zer's back.
Yeah,
Back to
shout
Destiny.
out to Julius from RGM because he's one of the few people keeping it alive in there.
Yes, he's one of the
man.
3.
One of the 3. That's too funny. But no, we just, it's all jokes, people. I know some people might get upset me saying that about Phil.
No, but serious question. I mean, I do definitely think there could be that lead console thing with Scorpio. Again, based on the relationship that Bethesda has with Microsoft, but I don't know if you'll see exclusive content for this portion or time exclusives or anything like that.
I think
You won't see timed content because actually the entire reason is they had the marketing. Xbox had the marketing for The Witcher 3, right? And they actually said, look, we're not going to do any exclusive content. And so Microsoft was like, all right, well, we're running all these expensive ads. What are you going to do for us? And they gave them like more items in the collector's edition.
Hey, I got a quick question.
In addition to the ads.
So no Mono says Uncle Phil needs to go. First of all, why do people refer to him as Uncle Phil?
That was started by a certain legion that I am loath to even name.
That's a little creepy. I feel like like why would you call? I don't know. It sounds like
back in 2014.
Sounds like
Phil
the kind of
Spencer,
uncle you don't want to like get caught with by yourself.
Back when Phil took over in 2014, and people were excited that it was him and not Don Matrick. A certain legion on Twitter started referring to Xbox fans as Uncle Phil's retarded monkeys.
Oh man!
So that's where that comes
just
from.
terrible. Yeah.
So anyone invoking that is invoking that whole.
So who's gonna write the memoir for Twitter 2013, the desolate wasteland of? There's a story. There's a Lifetime movie in there somewhere.
Lawless wasteland.
Anchor says
Lifetime specials, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I think when Microsoft at E3 this year when they announced the Scorpio, they finally reveal it to the public everything. They should make some commercial ads with Austin Powers where he just says, "Do I make you horny?" And that should just be it for Scorpio. That's it.
That's exactly what they shouldn't do.
That's exactly what they should do. You know why? You know why they should do it? Because you'll remember it. Because you'll be like, oh my God, the Scorpio. Do I make you horny? See, look at that. See?
I remember a lot of things that I wish I could forget, dude. This is not necessary.
That's how you. That's.
I do laugh at people that are like, we need. You know what? We need Matrick back. It's like, oh my God.
Dude, Matrick, that guy was like, he was like a fucking mob boss. He probably grabbed his nuts in the conference room and the meetings, and
yeah,
fuck,
So what's our next topic?
We're talking about Don Matrick right now.
Well, Don.
Yeah. So we'll
Do you guys think CD Projekt Red announces the game this year, or shows it anyway?
Let me tell you something.
I think it's a strong possibility, man.
What if they,
I think there's a good possibility for sure.
What if they show it running on Scorpio? Oh shit! I get it, chubby. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That probably won't happen. That's wishful thinking on my part.
Now wait a minute here. The entire team, ever since Blood and Wine released, has been worked on The Witcher 3 has been working on Cyberpunk 2077 since Blood and Wine released last May. That was May, I believe.
It was
in
May.
2016. The Gwent card game is being done by new people they've hired.
Didn't they just double the size of their studio, or am I thinking of
tripled? They tripled the size.
Okay, triple the size. Okay, so yeah.
The profits from The Witcher 3 have them in the black till 2020, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, they just got that government money as well, so they good over there, man. They good.
Yeah,
they're in Poland. Yeah,
they're mint.
They're definitely mint. They are definitely mint. This guy's getting.
Chicken says Like feels the best thing to happen to Xbox in years. This is his year. He has the games. He can feel it. I certainly hope so. You know,
I'm not feeling it just yet, man, but I definitely hope so.
yeah, I'm not. I say Chicken gives me. He's been the wind beneath the wing.
Chicken spaghetti?
Yeah, I try to live off of his hype. Cause dude, hey, he keeps that optimism, man. You gotta appreciate that.
Chicken's the most positive gamer I've ever met.
For real. Yeah.
That dude, I think he's even positive about Nintendo. He's very bullish on the Switch. You know, Chicken, I wish you were my financial advisor.
It's looking good, Enrique. It's looking good.
It's looking good.
We don't want to panic yet.
Yeah. Look, Enrique, I know this is the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression, but yeah, we got nowhere to go up, but we got nowhere to go but up here. We'll be okay.
No, and like you said, you know, people say Xbox has no games. On both sides of it, people need to stop with the hyperbole. I mean, it was back, even like when Sony was saying that their fall looked a little sparse, there were still things to play. There's always going to be something to play.
Well, their exclusive lineup was sparse.
Yeah. So there's always something to play. We know that, but it's just how it is with gamers. There's always something somebody wants that doesn't suit their taste, and if they've been with a certain platform, you got to have that spread out diversity. Like right now, for me personally, I do feel like, you know, Microsoft is very heavy with everything being multiplayer. We've been vocal about that. You know, I would like to see a few extra, you know, single player story-based games. That's just me. You know, I'm not feeling like that's being addressed. I'm excited for Cuphead. You know, I'm looking forward to Crackdown when we see more about either one. I still think they're going to announce Cuphead at E3 that's available the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Just based off of, you know, that they said it's releasing mid-2017. So I'm truthfully, I am hoping that they'll bring some bangers.
Some bangers and mash. That made me hungry.
Bangers? Oh, man. It's almost St. Patty's Day.
I know, right?
Yeah. I don't want any waiting pool games is what I'm saying. I want to dive in the deep end.
There you go.
Well, you know we've got to imagine they're gonna announce some games at E3. I think we pretty much know. I don't think there's gonna be any surprises in terms of any more big releases 2017. I think this is pretty much it. I
think they have one.
You think they have one?
That release is 2017.
I agree.
Fat Albert the game for Scorpio 4K.
All right. Permission to block this Nomo Mono guy.
Yeah, no, Mono, you can't be chill, man. You gotta go.
Yeah, Mono, no. If you're gonna come in here and just try to troll people, that's not cool. We don't do that here. We'll give you one more shot, but if you say something else, you gotta get the hammer. Trust me. Hey, look, we have a bunch of mods in here. We have the drunk cat Al, who's quick. He's real quick, cat-like reflexes. So we'll see.
Inferno, can't you see like a Fat Albert game like Sunset Overdrive? It's like you just all over the junkyard. that Brown Hornet DLC.
Dude, the Brown Hornet was a shit. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but so real quick. So Eric, you brought up you kind of helped us segue into a topic because this comes out of a lot of the fanfare and the great reviews that we got with regards to Horizon Zero Dawn. So on Twitter and a couple articles came out recently about this kind of. I don't know if I agree that every time a Sony exclusive comes out, people. I don't want to use the word freak out. All right, and there we go. No Mono was blocked by Al.
Get him out of here.
I love it. We're debating, and Al's like, guys, nope, just
no. So he told you, Al's quick. Look, don't fuck with Al. Let me tell you something. He's quick.
We're nice. Al isn't.
Yeah. Al said, "Fuck that guy." So I don't want to say that like fans of Xbox, flip out or, but it seems like this topic of conversation comes a lot, and probably more so recently, I think, because of certain things that have happened with Microsoft in terms of their own exclusives. We got Fable that was canceled. Scalebound more recently was canceled. Phantom Dust was supposed to be a complete remaster remake, right? and now that's not. And so, are they?
What I understand, it's a gussied up port.
Okay, so wait, it's going to have achievements, by the way. Well,
Right.
we just learned that this week.
That's one part of the gussie.
Yeah, and so I think that this probably comes up more now because of those big franchises being canceled. Scalebound, Fable. You know, Fable was touted as part of the greatest games lineup in Xbox history, right? And then that got canceled. So
slowly removed itself from the ads.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. So,
Forza car still strong.
well, Forza. I mean, look, you know, it's interesting. I think about
That was
Forza.
a joke. Forza car being in the images with Master Chief and.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. All right, bad joke.
When you get that many sales, I think you can put your car up there though.
Oh yeah.
No, dude, I'm not knocking Forza for their sales and everything. I love Forza Horizon 3. I'm not a Forza Motorsport fan, you know, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, Forza. I mean, I remember Peter Moore when they first announced Forza at E3, and I was like, okay, we actually might have a competitor to GT now. And sure enough, you know. So, yeah. So this topic came up, and we've talked about this. I know this week, the last couple of days or so, or I should say, last 24, 40 hours, we've been talking about this a little bit. The conversation switched to, you know, Xbox exclusives, Sony exclusives. You know, which of the two right now is putting out better exclusive content. You know, I know, Sam, we talked about this on DM, B Money.
Mhm.
We talked about this, and there was actually an article that some people got upset about. I mean, it's. Yeah, I don't want to jump into the whole fanboy thing, but I think sometimes, look, I think people forget things. Like as gamers, first and foremost, yes, we're gamers. We're also consumers too, and there's nothing wrong offering construction criticism to whatever brand you support. You have to, because you sink so much money into this lifestyle, or into this hobby, whatever you want to call it. Right? It's expensive. I mean, a game costs $60 easily, right? And that doesn't even count like downloadable content, you know, or if you buy, you know, the special edition with the statue. You know, I mean, all joking aside, I mean, I think we were kind of a couple podcasts ago, or we were talking about Destiny and how it's kind of effed up that, you know, Destiny essentially has cost a lot of us $150 at the end of the day, right?
Not me, it ain't.
You know, except for Sam. But I mean, it's almost as much as half as much as a game console now for a piece of software. You know, so look, we just got to remember, like, we're consumers first, and if whatever brand you support isn't doing it for you, or isn't providing you with the content you want, or, you know, or isn't doing a good job at, you know, catering to your taste, you don't have to blindly stand by it. Demand for better, because it's your right as a consumer to demand better. And that's the part that like blows my mind, you know. And it's both sides. It's you know, Nintendo fans, it's you know, Sony fans, it's Xbox fans. You know, it's people that become blindly loyal to a brand, and, you know, and just, hey, you know what? I'm going to be loyal to them just because they're a brand. Well, that makes a lot of sense, because if you're not happy and they're not giving you what you want, or you have to talk yourself into liking something, then you should be critical about it. You should offer constructive criticism. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually healthy, and it's actually smart. I've always said this on this podcast before. Fanboyism is a form of anti-consumer behavior. It's detrimental to consumers. It's detrimental to the gaming industry. So on that note, I'm off my soapbox. But I wanted to go to something here. You know, and this has kind of been a hot topic on Twitter, on some gaming forums that I've seen. So there was an article, and again, this goes back to you know, Horizon Zero Dawn, and pretty much some people, or I shouldn't say some people, I think a lot of gamers would probably agree, I think right now, and this is my opinion, I think right now, again, and this isn't I'm not bashing the Xbox. I think the Xbox is a good console. Um, I don't think anybody on this panel would say that it's not, you know. But in terms of exclusive content right now, I do really think that Sony's doing a better job of putting out quality right now in terms of their exclusives. Again, no one here saying that the Microsoft content, some of the exclusive content they put out is garbage. It's not what we're saying. We all know how great Forza Horizon 3 is. That's probably, in my opinion, their best exclusive from last year. And I'll put Gears of War 4 behind that. We all know about Ori and the Blind Forest, how great of a game that was. But
hot.
What's that?
Hot. Ori's hot.
Yeah, Ori. I thought you said pot. I'm like, what? That was an exclusive.
Ori's the best platform.
Ori can make you want to smoke pot in some of the sections. You know.
Yeah, what are you saying, Sam?
I was just going to say Ori is the best platformer this gen, and I will stand by that.
Yeah, you know what, Sam? That's probably, you're probably spot on. I've heard a lot of people say that.
I would co-sign.
Yeah, I would say that. But so again, I want to get everyone's opinion on this too, and everyone in the live chat too. Feel free to chime in, give us your thoughts. Let's keep this constructive, by the way. Let's not, and I don't think anyone in the live chat would, because Al's out there. He's got the band hammer ready. But I do think that if I'm looking at the total body of work now, I'm looking at what's come out recently. We talked about this, 2017. I mean, Sony's come out the gate. I mean, just shooting bullets. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn comes out next week. We had Yakuza 0 release already. We had Neo, which is another top reviewed, rated AAA exclusive. And we have Gravity Rush 2. Did I mention Gravity Rush 2 already?
You did.
No.
I did. No, I did?
I could have sworn you did. Okay.
Okay.
But
so
regardless, it did come out.
And in each one of those games, I mean, each one of those games is reviewed very well. And we're just getting to March. The first week of March is next week, or the first of March is next week. We're still in February, first 2 months of the year. I guess, but my point is, as I was reading this article in Forbes, where he was talking about, how Microsoft, or how the gap between has kind of widened between PS4 exclusives and Xbox One. I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because if I'm looking at some of the body work and the quality that we've seen in some of the exclusive franchises from Sony, whether or not they appeal to your taste, and Chicken Spaghetti and I had a funny conversation on Twitter about this. I said, your quality is not subjective, but your taste is. And he's like, no, it's not. I said, well, would you say that Mercedes makes better quality than Chevy? And he's like, yeah. He's like, but I don't like Mercedes or something, or something to that effect, And I'm like, well, you just pretty much almost proved my point. But
okay, so how do you prove the quality of a game?
Well, I think like Sam. Okay, so there's certain things, there's certain aspects of games, Sam, that I think that work. Like there's certain technical aspects of a game, and what makes a game work. And sometimes the sum of all parts don't work, and sometimes they do very well. And I think that we all have a good idea when the sum of all parts work very well. And I think that I've seen more consistency in those parts working well, and maybe better in some of those, in some of the Sony exclusives. And again, that's not to say that the Xbox exclusives have been bad. I don't think they've been bad. I just think the Sony ones have been a little bit better, and so I think, Eric, you said it early in regards to variety. I want a little more variety too. I'm gonna make this as simple as possible, like how I feel about this. Like, so Microsoft's been giving me Missionary. I want a little doggy style.
Damn.
God almighty.
You always gotta take it there.
Always. How?
What? I'm trying to make this as simple as possible so that our viewers see. I'm trying to make this so our viewers can relate to what I'm trying to say.
I think most will appreciate that analogy. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I'm being serious. I mean, Eric, you said it earlier. A lot of the big franchises that Microsoft has come out with, they all have a component of shooting, online multiplayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have Sea of Thieves coming out. That's Rare's next big IP, new IP.
You have Sea of Thieves coming out. I'm not buying Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. Okay. Online, yeah, online multiplayer component, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's great, but like I want a little variety. Hey, Missionary's great, but I want some. Give me a little reverse cowgirl. Give me a little doggy style.
Up in the ante, man. You want a freak in the bed?
Yeah, give me a little bit of that.
So you want Microsoft to be a freak in the bed?
Yeah, give me a little praying mantis. Tie me up. And I feel like Sony's offering me a little bit more of those experiences, if you know what I mean. But I will say this though, and I think this is Sam to where they're really excelling. Look at their new IPs. I mean, we talked about Horizon Zero Dawn earlier. We talked about how big a deal it was for Guerrilla to just completely pivot and go from making a game like Killzone to Horizon Zero Dawn, which we all know open world games are expensive. They're not easy. They take a long time to develop. And here we are we learned about this game in 2011. Here we are in 2017. The game's coming out on Tuesday, and it's already touted. Some people are saying this is Sony's best exclusive this console gen.
With Bloodborne out in the wild, that's saying something.
Yeah, and Uncharted 4. I mean, that says something. And I don't know if you guys know. I don't know exactly what happened with Destiny with Bungie. But with Bungie, it's like we knew that they had something in the works. I don't know if you guys remember, I think in Halo ODST they actually they teased the who was it? God, my mind's going blank now.
They teased Destiny. Yeah,
they teased Destiny. Thank you. But there's just the main character or figure or whatever. They teased in Destiny, right? The Traveler, I think it was. They teased that in Halo, and we know that Bungie wanted to make a new IP, but we know that Microsoft was really wanted them to work on Halo. And we obviously don't know everything that happened behind the scenes, but obviously it's at least in what the outcome of this, it almost seems that for Microsoft, the Halo franchise was more important than letting Bungie, create another, work on another franchise. And look, I mean, obviously, Destiny is it's a first person shooter, but it's for all intents and purposes, it's a console MMO, right? Which is much different than what they did with Halo. And we could argue back and forth whether or not Destiny is a great game. I think for what it does, it's good. I think where it excels, it's online multiplayer. We got to get back on that, by the way.
that shooting is so. Oh my God, it feels so good.
It does. But I bring up the Bungie thing because it goes to my point of Sony almost allowing and not holding on so much to franchise. It's and maybe allowing their people to do different things that end up paying dividends for them in the long run.
Right.
And that's what I want to see more from Microsoft. Like I want them to don't lean on Halo all the time, or don't lean on Gears all the time. Don't lean on Forza all the time. Allow 343 to do something different. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, there isn't. That's actually a conversation Anchor and I have had.
Yeah, I was going to say, Anchor just mentioned that, Sam. Not to cut you off, but I want to give him props. He just mentioned that in the chat.
We've talked about this at length. Ideally, what they should do is let Coalition and 343 each have like a side franchise, if you will. Just let them do, okay,
A side
got
chick, if you
Halo,
will.
on 3 years. God almighty, people, come on! I'm trying to keep us out of the gutter here.
Hold on, what happened?
Side chick isn't gutter.
What happened?
I believe in monogamy.
A
What?
side chick. A side chick. What's wrong with whoa, Sam.
Oh,
Every once in a while, sometimes a side chick comes.
I didn't say Bungie. I didn't say 343 was married to Halo. I just said,
Well, okay, but wait. Look, so Sam, you agree then that they should probably be allowed to work on other franchises?
right. Yeah. Ideally, give us something to look forward to. Have Gears, and then, a couple of years later, something new. Some new franchise. It might be a one-off. It might be, a series. 343 can do the same thing, and it spaces Halo and Gears out and makes people look forward to it because it's like, oh snap, it's a big deal. This hasn't happened in like 4 or 5 years. We haven't had one of these. And at the same time, it lets, what I would argue are their two most talented teams, very high up there in quality, work on other genres.
That is the one thing that I've been saying since like the start of this gen. You can go back and listen to all the old Tick podcasts. I was probably the only one on there voicing my opinion in regards to them kind of putting some of those games to rest for a little bit. Like just put them in a corner, let them chill, and create some big franchises for us to fall in love with again. I felt like I'm fatigued of Halo. Like I was talking about this at length. Like I'm not buying another Halo game until like you show me something that's drastically different than Halo 5. Like,
I'm in the same boat, D.
You know what I mean? And even with Gears, Gears is the reason why I continue to own Xbox, because that is my favorite franchise from Microsoft as a first-party studio is concerned, because it came at just a great time in my life. So I fell in love with that franchise. But even Gears, at this point, it's like, okay, it's cool. We got it. It was a good game. Great multiplayer. But I don't want to see Gears 5 in 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, for what? Show me something else. Like, let me get hyped about something else. How many more years you want me to get hyped about Gears and Halo and Forza? Like, it's cool. Yes, those are big franchises. Those are ones that you lean on because those are your best first party studios. But let's see what their talent, you know what I mean, has in store for us. They can do other things beyond this. You know what I mean? And if you look at Sony Studios, they have been doing this since, you know what I mean? Sony has been releasing games first party. Where's Siphon Filter at? Gone. You know why? Because they're working on something else. You know what I mean? Uncharted is going to be put to rest after this. Where's Jack and Dexter? Gone. You know what I mean? Like,
what's the studio behind Siphon Filter?
Siphon Filter, that was made by
989.
No, the team that's doing
Sony Benz.
Sony Benz. Yeah, the
That was
team
Sony Benz.
gone. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they get to a certain point and they're just like, all right, we're good. You know what I mean? Let it rest. Go do something else. And a lot of people give Sony shit because like they're not a big profitable brand, but they waste money on a lot of stupid stuff. Yes. but they let their studios just chill and create something amazing, and then you fall in love with it. Like Last of Us, crazy. Like, would you ever think that Naughty Dog would work on Uncharted and The Last of Us?
No, I don't even know how they pulled that off.
Craziness. And now they showed Last of Us 2 at PSX, and look how hype everybody was. They showed a snippet, not even gameplay, not nothing, just a little snippet of the two main characters. People went bananas.
And people can say all day, well, that game's so far off, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because people will wait for The Last of Us because of what the first game did. And that was a new IP, and now it's heralded by most people as like one of the greatest games of like ever, and one of the best games to them. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm in the same boat. Like, and again, hopefully it doesn't trigger anybody, but I'm burned out on Halo. I'm burned out, and I think kind of that's why outside of playing Horde, with you guys, the Gears 4 campaign to me was fun, but it just at the end of it, I just kind of felt like it's more Gears. It didn't really do anything to change the formula, in my opinion, for the last years. Like, to me, though, the last act of that game, the last part, is where that game really took off. The first part I couldn't stand. And I definitely can't stand the fact that they had to build Horde into it. I'm like, here we go again. It's going to be hard for me to want to go back to run through this campaign again because I hate how that part slows down the game unless you're playing with other people.
Right.
It's not built for somebody to go through on their own because it's just not fun to slow down and have to set up a horde mode scenario by yourself if you're just trying to run through the campaign.
Right.
Right. But I would love to see those games like grow into something else. Even if you did a completely opposite Halo game, and I'm not talking about Halo Wars 2, I know that exists, but I'm saying a completely different formula in the Halo universe or in the Gears universe will be something different.
You got to think like Halo could be just as big as Star Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't there different games in the Halo universe?
Right.
I mean, like, say, Halo Wars 2.
No, but I'm saying, but Halo Wars 2 exists. That's fine. But I'm saying not RTS doesn't speak to everybody.
Right.
If you did a third person, story based action type game with a completely different side of the Halo universe, maybe you have like an assassin Spartan or something like, I'm saying just something to kind of mix up the formula, because Halo's formula has been wildly the same. And that Halo 5 campaign to me was just it wasn't hitting on it. Especially for how they built it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of well, Sam, did you want to chime in? You got anything else to say? Because I don't know.
Well,
if
Chicken just said something subjective. He said The Last of Us is truly a spectacle, but not the greatest game of all time. There are people out there who think there's a lot of games that are the greatest to them. That's the thing about gaming. If you give a wide range of different things, everyone's going to have something that speaks to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Okay, so I think it's a bit of a. I mean, I've given my thoughts in terms of I think they need to branch out. I think Halo Wars 2 is the stepping stone to that. Because if you look at it, it's a game that by all rights should not have gotten a sequel. And I say that as someone who loved the first one. It should not have gotten a sequel.
Well, the sequel actually, a lot of people like the first one.
A lot of people liked it, but it's not, if there is a genre that can't succeed on consoles, it's RTS. That is the toughest genre to do on console. So the fact that, and yes, of course, you've got a lot of the sales are going to be coming from people on PC. Obviously, that's where they're going for that. But the fact that they were willing to do that and they were willing to say, okay, we really can't make this, but we're going to strike a deal with Creative Assembly. They know how, we'll trust a third-party developer with, an IP that is very close to us because it is the Halo brand, it is the Halo name. And then they do a remarkable job on it. Most of the reviews seem to, across the board, be the idea that this is the best RTS on console since the original Command and Conquer. So if this is successful, hopefully we get them to branch out and do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, let their studios work on other IPs.
I just don't know, Sam, if they have the ability to do that. I think, and I'll share a story. Ed Freeze was on a podcast with Ryan McCaffrey, who we've had on the show before. We had him on this past summer. And I remember listening to that podcast with Ryan, and Ed shared a story about Halo, and how Halo, when the Xbox division started off, they were kind of like left to their own devices, right? Nobody from Microsoft really paid attention to them. And if you look at that console, you look at like a lot of the relationships they built early on with that console. And people think I'm crazy for saying this. I think the OG Xbox, to me, better console than the Xbox One. I think the 360 being the top of the three, but if you look at like what they were doing back then, I mean, they were really focused on games, building new IPs, taking risks. And they were even managed to pull off some really, really great coups, considering that at the time PlayStation 2 was dominating. I mean, just dominating, console sales, and Nintendo, was getting ready to gear up and release the GameCube. So no one gave Microsoft any chance of being successful in the console business. People laughed the idea of them even entering the console business, right? And so in the story, when Ed says that Halo takes off and they greenlight Halo 2, it was like a no-brainer, right? We got to get Halo 2 out. And the suits from Microsoft came in were basically more like, look, this game needs to get out by this date. We need to be on the street by this date. We need to cash in, right? And he's thinking to himself, well, wait a minute, like this fucking game's not ready. Like hell no. Like it's You're not going to rush this game out because you want it to get out in the street to make money. Like it needs to release like ready, And he actually threatened to leave if they didn't agree to the original release date for Halo 2, and they eventually gave in, and he got his way, and that was the only time it happened. But I share that story because I wonder like how much interference that Microsoft corporate runs now with the Xbox division, and if profitability now and just putting out IPs that tap into what they do best, which in my opinion is Xbox Live. If you think about the online infrastructure and whatnot, and I think they're always touting gamer interaction or whatever it is on Xbox Live. It's profitable for them, but if they, it almost seems to me, and this is the part that got me when I read this article 2 with Forbes. I'm like, wait a minute, why can't Microsoft do this? They can do this too, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can put out new IPs if they want to. Why it doesn't have to just be Sony. And Sony, by Sony allowing the developers to do these things and to put out new IPs and to build great partnerships, put out these great second party exclusives. I mean they're knocking it out of the park right now. And so for me as a consumer that has an Xbox, I want those kinds of experiences. I want new experiences. Hey, Halo's great, Gears is great, Forza is great. Having third-party content on the system is great. By the way, no one's saying that the Xbox doesn't have games. That's not what we're saying here. Clearly have great third-party support. But, let's face it, like we all like those little differentiators, those new IPs, those new gaming experiences. That's why we game sometimes, or for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
And so, but I wonder how much interference though Microsoft corporate is running an Xbox now. And I think about that Ed Free story, and I'm thinking to myself, well, geez, maybe behind the scenes is like, oh, you gotta put out another Halo, guys. Come on, we need that 400 million here. We gotta get other Gears out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean they still have the answer to the suits at the end of the day. What I mean? So that's
they have to make
any
profits.
business. Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, we could say the position right now is Sony needs PlayStation, Microsoft doesn't need Xbox.
Right.
Yeah. Real quick, Inferno.
They like having it, but they don't need it. Well, some people like having it. I'm sure there's some shareholders that'll like cut it.
Yeah.
Minecraft alone puts them in the black. Let's be honest.
I mean, Minecraft is a juggernaut. Yeah. But
but when you're talking about a mega billion-dollar corporation and a shareholder, they look at. I'm sure it keeps them in the black, but I'm sure there are people who are probably like, from hardware creation and everything else, they're like, what's going on over here? But obviously, I mean, I'm just saying Microsoft doesn't necessarily need to have Xbox.
But
real quick, guys, I'll just ban someone else. Big shout out to Al.
in regards to the topic that you brought up originally, the reason that this has become more of an issue now is because of the resurgence of Japanese games. They've definitely become more popular over the last 3 years of this generation, and you see games like Yakuza and the Tale series and Neo becoming more popular. What I mean? And those games just aren't on Xbox. It's not like Sony signed those deals and what I mean, they are exclusive to Xbox or to PlayStation for that reason. Is because the long history of Japanese games on Xbox consoles weren't moving units. So of course they go with the console, where they feel like they're going to make the most money. So you see some of those games over there, and you see that they're getting high ratings and things like that, and more people are playing them. They're being exposed to them a lot more than they ever have before. I mean, with social media and be able to check out stuff on YouTube, and the digital age also helped that as well, because before a lot of those games you used to have to import. They weren't released in the West. So that has also helped. Kind of put a feather in the cap of Sony's hat, because they have that relationship as well. So
That's a B Money. That's a great point because a lot of the games that are coming out are games from Japanese developers. Yakuza, Gravity Rush 2, Nier Automata, which comes out next month. And so yeah, they have that luxury, but Microsoft did have some relationships with the 360. I mean, look at Lost Odyssey. How great was that game?
Yeah, but those games are also games that they funded themselves. They actually had to go out and get those games. They weren't like those developers didn't just release those games on Microsoft consoles because that's something that they wanted to do or whatever the case was. Microsoft went out and sought those developers and put those games on Xbox, and that's something that they kind of scaled back from towards the middle and end of the 360 generation, and that's something that we really haven't seen now. So like when Phil goes and puts out the tweet saying that he's going to visit Japan, I don't look at that to see exclusive Japanese games, but more of him trying to even the playing field. Like why is Digimon not released on Xbox, but it's a Bandai Namco game, by a Japanese developer, but it's released on PlayStation. Like why is that exclusive?
Games like that.
Well, we know why Nier's not coming.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, when I saw that, that's what I thought of is him going to go to see if he can even the playing field. Like, figure out why those games aren't being released on his console, and not just go over there to try to get some exclusive game. Because I don't think that would be the best route to go.
No, it wouldn't. But I mean, the demand is there. Final Fantasy 15 was actually a success on Xbox.
Right.
Yeah, so well.
Which is shocking. I mean, I got it on Xbox, and that's shocking to me.
Yeah.
But that's great because it shows that there are people on a Western console, that has primarily been associated with racers and shooters that want to play that kind of game, and that's great.
Yeah, Sam, the beauty of the Xbox 360 for me was that it gave me such a different. It gave me doggy style. It gave me missionary.
You're still on that, man.
Dude, all right, sorry. Never mind. I'll deal with you later. Meet me after the show.
Yeah, it gave me variety. I mean, we talked about Lost Odyssey. We talked about was it Blue Dragon? We talked about
Blue Dragon, Last Remnant. Like there were some dope games at the beginning of the game.
They really were. And then you sprinkle in your Halo in there and your Gears, and it was just a complete system. And this is, to me, now the PS4 is feeling like a complete system. It feels a lot like the PlayStation 2. And
it also is more obvious now because we don't have like those B-tier developers releasing like other, third-party games. So you don't have like your THQs and
all those double A's.
All those double A games.
A lot of the middlemen have been cut out.
Yeah,
right. So you don't have that there as well.
Yeah.
This is also, if you kind of look at how Sony has always kind of developed, they kind of start hitting that stride middle to end of the gen.
Yeah, they do.
And I think because by the end of the PS3, they were just, like you said, B, they were supporting games that they probably knew weren't going to sell well, but they were giving it out there. And I was just like, wow. And honestly, being I was a primary 360 gamer, like all my multi-platform purchases there, all the exclusives. And at that time, my PS3 was more my secondary console. And that's coming from somebody who was a primary PlayStation gamer before the OG, but I was just looking at it, I was like, holy crap, like they're just putting out like all these different types of exclusives. And I just started feeling like Microsoft was more focused in their third party. They were more focused in getting Gears out, getting another Halo out, but they had stopped what they were doing in early 360.
Yeah. It's
OG, early 360. It was just like
game after game after game.
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, wait, what? We're hungry. We need to prove to people that we're serious about this. And if you have the game for us, we're open to hearing about it.
Yeah, and and I want to go to the live chat real quick because Inferno, Mike from TXR, he said that he actually made a great point. He said they thought their prize franchises were the bread and butter, and they were wrong. They're not sellers or don't have the impact that they used to. and they're not going to be able to go back to that, keep going back to that well too much longer. They're going to have to invest in some new IPs. I think. I just, yeah, I don't see how you can't. I hope with the Scorpio they do. I'm still convinced, guys, that with Scorpio, that Scorpio's a new console for them, and that they're just and give it a year's time. I think you'll see exclusive content on that system, and I think that's smart if they do that. Hopefully, it's new IP.
Yeah, I mean the other thing that Microsoft has addressed, which I've also mentioned previously, is that they don't have like a big game this year that releases before we get to E3. Like we have Halo Wars 2, but like we all said, that's only going to appeal to a certain market of gamers. So what other game is going to be releasing? Like they've been so hush about like what's coming out before E3. There's rumors that Phantom Dust is supposed to be out before then. Voodoo Vince is supposed to be out before then, but like, where is the coverage? Like, where's the news? Like, why are people not talking about it?
I'm not really excited for Voodoo Vince.
You know what I mean? But like, even still, like, you may not be excited about it, but like, that's their property, and they're not talking about it. And like, people have no information on it. Unless you like went digging for it or like follow Shannon Loftus tweets, like you wouldn't even know about these other games or when they might be coming. So that's something that they need to adjust. And I've talked to Aaron Greenberg about this before, and DM and things like that. But they kind of need to adjust, their strategy. Like they've always been big in the holiday season, which is great. You know what I mean? But I think if they could just spread one of those games or two of those games, throughout the year, that would also help them as well. Because like it seems like every year we go through the same conversation. You know what I mean? Sony releases all the big games at the top of the year, and all the fanboys are at rage. And then towards the end of the year, Sony has nothing. Xbox has all the games at the end of the year, and then the Sony fanboys are all outraged because they're getting beat up on. I think if they would just put one or two games in the top of the year, have something for people to talk about, then they'll have a little less worry as far as the fan base. Because I mean, when Titanfall was there, that was the thing. Everybody was talking about Titanfall when it released.
Titanfall took off.
Yeah, Titanfall took off. It was So I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
What's interesting, B-Money, is you say that where's I can't even talk. Where's all the news for these games like Voodoo Vince, Phantom Dust? Just today, Sony put out that Star Ocean 2 is being remastered and coming on the PlayStation 4. And I see more. And I mean, come on, that's a game that came out the same console generation as Voodoo Vince, right?
Right.
What have we really heard about Voodoo Vince? And I am reading whole articles in the game media about Star Ocean.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that. I haven't seen coverage like that on Voodoo Vince yet. Maybe it's been out there. I haven't seen it.
Well, I mean, I've read articles. There have been articles and coverage pieces and technical perspectives on the Xbox Wire. It's out there.
Yeah. But I mean, I haven't seen it. I mean, so I don't know. So
I think also like B was saying, like how the argument keeps going. Well, Sony releases at this point of the year, Microsoft does this point of the year. But I think I think that was more of the case from last year as opposed to like prior years. Not from a Microsoft standpoint. They do go in the fall. I'm kind of hoping that they're learning from what's happening in the shift in the industry when you go into the fall. Stay out of the fall.
Although anymore, stay out of January and February. So
yeah. No, well, I mean, I mean, you bring up a great point, Eric. I mean, this isn't like in the past where you could, put out your big tentpole AAA and it was just going to dominate. You're going up against the heavy hitters. And in this year, shit, Red Dead Redemption 2?
If it makes it.
Yeah, I think it's going to make it. And what else is dropping this year?
Battlefront 2, the full campaign.
Battlefront 2.
Stay away from those. I think you have a window from the end of summer through the early part of fall that you can hit, but anything later than that, like when they bought Gears in October, like late October, that's traditionally kind of around where they would release it in the past anyway. But I definitely think you're seeing that shift. Like gamers care about multiplats. in the fall through the winter. That just seems to be the case right now. But you're right, Sam. January is kind of a sticky month. Depending on what it is.
Evidently, Gravity Rush 2 hasn't done too well.
Well, we'll see how that one pans out completely. Again, I saw that thing from VG Charts.
I'm not talking about them, but okay.
Well, I didn't look any. I just saw something from VG Charts. I didn't look any deeper.
Yeah, I mean, it's sold. They're saying it's sold 142,000. I mean, yeah, will it get a third installment? Probably not. But you know what? I don't think it doesn't take away from the quality of the game.
To be honest, it probably will.
You think so?
Yep. Sony is weird in a way where they don't care if the game sells a lot. If they have a plan for it to be a 3-part or 4-part series, they'll release it, and they'll let it float out there and live, and the people who enjoy it will go out and pick it up, and everybody else will just pass up on it. You know what I mean? That's Sony's pedigree.
And you know what that does?
Something.
I was just saying, you know what that does, B Money? That it creates loyalty amongst gamers who have different taste, who are going to gravitate towards your box because you're giving them variety, you're giving them access to different things that they're not getting somewhere else.
Yeah, I've been saying it,
and it builds goodwill with developers. Developers know that that you're a partner, that you're going to give them carte blanche per se. You're going to let them do what they need to do to make a game, regardless of whether or not, it's going to sell 3 million, 4 million, 8 million copies.
Yeah. I think, I think you said this on the podcast. Gravity Rush, if it would have come in around $40, might have been a different case. But 60, and I think Maddie's just saying that in the chat. 60, maybe a little too steep. I think it's a game that people will pick up on flash sales.
Oh yeah.
So I think when it comes to a game like Gravity Rush, okay, I think you also have to kind of stop this metric of, if it didn't hit the first week, it's a complete failure. Sometimes it can be the long game. Sometimes games pick up steam later.
Alan Wake.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Alan Wake.
It's a great game. Sold like poo-poo.
Where it started is not where it ended, and definitely not in how people feel about that game. I mean, it gets, people are still asking for sequels, to that game. So, but the fact of the matter is, you have to have it. Whether it's going to be gangbusters for you, you have to round out a portfolio and say, hey, okay, it didn't sell gangbusters, but when someone's looking over the whole portfolio of what's there, say, hey, it's nothing for me, but they went for it.
Yeah, and
I'll say the same thing about Halo Wars 2. It's important for that game to be there, whether someone wants it or not. And I think I've said that I'm happy that game is there, and I'm happy that the people who want it can get to it. And maybe someday I'll go back and try again. I'm not the type to completely write something off because I didn't like turn-based, JRPGs back in the day, but I'm more of a fan of them now. So things can change, but it's good for it to be there. I'd rather for it to be there than to not be there. And Gravity Rush may have gotten buried under some of their other exclusives.
Well, I mean, look at. I think within a week, Yakuza and Gravity Rush released for one another.
And Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, that's another factor.
Yeah, so
and out of all of those, Kingdom Hearts was the only one to chart on MPD, and that game is not even a full game. It's parts of a game to get you prepared for Kingdom Hearts 3. So I mean, people, spend their money where their interest is, and
I can't keep up.
Okay with that.
I can't keep up with the naming and the numbering on Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts Remastered 1.54 Sell Your Soul to the Devil edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, that was a very constructive conversation compared to what I saw on Twitter and elsewhere. So, yeah, this is having a normal conversation without getting triggered. Yeah. So, So what with regards to Microsoft, we'll see what happens to E3. And one more thing I wanted to say. There's a rumor out there. I don't know if you guys heard this. I think I told you guys. I think you guys have probably maybe heard this from other people that that Playground Games is working on a new IP. It's supposed to be an open world RPG, and that apparently maybe Phil Spencer turned down exclusivity rights to this game.
Mm-hmm.
So That's if that rumor's true, for me, it raises eyebrows a lot.
Yeah, if that rumor is true, I would love to know. I would just love to know from him, like, why? Like, was it something that he just wasn't gelling for him, or was it like a decision? Well, I think my initial reaction was, and I think B said the same thing. It was like, there's no opportunity for microtransaction.
Yeah.
Does that have online play? No, not doing it.
So I don't know, but
yeah, no.
I would like to know from him, like, why he turned it down.
If
it's true, just considering the playground has been with them and gave them the first crack at it. If that's true,
we want to emphasize it's a rumor, So who knows if any of it's true? It could be fake.
Completely.
Could be completely fake, So, so real quick, guys, I want to go to Crash Bandicoot because I know Anchorman's dying to talk about it. So Crash Bandicoot is when's it? I don't even really care about the release, the trilogy that's coming out, the remaster, whatever it is. But it releases what this summer?
June 30th. Yep.
June 30th. Yeah. So it sounds like it's not going to be console exclusive to the PlayStation, which honestly I'm not surprised that Crash Bandicoot hasn't been exclusive to the Sony platform in quite some time now. It's owned by Activision. So I'm not surprised. To be honest,
it still will be funny though if it comes to Xbox. I mean, and I think we know it is at this point. Playing 3 Naughty Dog games and earning achievements for them on your Xbox. I'm sorry, that is inherently funny to me.
Well, I don't know. I guess, yeah.
When they announced it, I was hyped for it. You know what I mean? That's those 3 games that I played during my childhood. So for me, just for them to come back and to look the way that they did, I was just like, yo, I'm in.
The screenshots look good though. Yeah, I mean,
regardless of where it releases, I could care less, to be honest. I mean, I tried to stick with Crash after it was no longer a Naughty Dog franchise, and those games were horrible. You know what I mean? So as long as this stays true to form, I'm good, and I'll just I'll buy it wherever it's released. So
you know what? I was never a big Crash fan. I did love the commercials. Remember when he used to go to Nintendo?
Oh yeah, Crash was a fool, man.
Yeah, he's just trying to call out Mario.
Yeah, that's the Sonic guy.
Yeah,
from the Sonic Burger commercials.
Crash was a fool. What else did he do? He used to do some other stuff that was funny.
Oh man, Crash was fooling, man. You always saw him with that big megaphone, man.
Yeah, that megaphone. I just remember him going to Nintendo headquarters trying to call out Mario. Was he like come out and play or something, or I don't remember.
Yeah, and me personally, like when they announced that they were doing it, I was just hyped as a fan, like coming up on those games. It never crossed my mind whether it was like going to be exclusive. It was never, and even when that kind of thing was going around, I didn't care. But it was always kind of like Activision owns the rights. It is completely possible that it goes multi-plat.
Come on, man, it's Activision.
Yeah,
they are the kings of video game industry.
Exactly.
They make the most money, I think, out of any other company in the gaming industry.
Yeah, Activision Blizzard.
They're gonna release an exclusive game,
right?
No,
they're right.
It's them and EA are the top 2.
Yep. Yeah. So first and foremost, I was like, hey, whatever it is, I'm happy it's happening, because when Sean Lady came out on stage in the Crash shirt, everyone thought it was going to be announced then, and for them to like listen to that and come back and say, hey, we got it to happen.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
Because gamers spoke up. Gamers spoke up and they listened.
That's the best part about being a fan and having that influence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you ask about it enough and they make it happen for you, like, you can't do anything but be happy about it. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, it's funny you mentioned that, B-Money, because earlier Inferno in the live chat said that he said something in fact like you better believe, or he said that YouTube and what people say on Twitter are changing how Microsoft, or it's having some kind of influence on them, or something to that effect. And I'm thinking to myself, shit, they're not listening to this podcast. Not when they hear Doggy Style Missionary. They turn off the channel quick.
I mean, I think any company should listen to the people who spend money on your product. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
You don't have to do anything that that they ask for, but taking a listen is always important. You know what I mean? This is why you're in business, for the consumer at the end of the day. So if you can keep them coming around and spending their money, opening up their wallet, swiping their credit card, then you better believe you might want to do something to make them happy and keep them around.
Okay, so maybe now a Conquer game is coming, a real Conquer game.
That would be amazing, but I don't think Phil would greenlight it, to be honest.
You know what? I wish they would. I mean, bring back Conquer. The fans want. See, this is the part that kind of frustrates me a little bit. Like, I don't give a fuck about Voodoo Vince. I played it in the OG Xbox. I thought it was trash. No, I did. I just didn't like it. I didn't think it was a good game. Conquer? Come on, give me some Conquer. Like, people want that. I see people tweeting Phil, what's up with Conquer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, if I ever meet Phil Spencer in person, I'm not going to even introduce. He's like, "Hey, I'm Phil. What's up with Conquer?"
No, you're gonna walk up to him and say, "Give me some Doggy Style."
Yeah. Phil, I'm tired of this missionary, man. Give me some Doggy Style.
He's gonna be like, "Security."
You're not going anywhere near Phil.
Yeah.
You're never going anywhere near him.
Yeah. But I was seriously, man.
But I think,
come on, give us some Conquer.
I think this year and going forward, you'll probably see Phil kind of answer the bell on some of the stuff that people have been asking about.
I hope so, man. Chicken Spaghetti's bullish on it. He thinks it's gonna happen.
A lot of people are thinking Fusion Frenzy is making its way back. So that's a strong possibility as well.
So. All right, man.
I don't want Fusion Frenzy, man. I don't want that. I mean, come on.
People love Fusion Frenzy.
Why don't you just bring back Whacked at that point? Shit. I mean, why? Why torture us like that? Why don't you bring back Blinks the Time Sweeper? Or Brute Force? I'm not gonna lie though. That Brute Force CGI trailer when it came out back in the days looked good. Good. It's the only reason I bought the game at launch. Then I bought it was trash. You know what though? That game though, I think had Xbox Live been around at that time, because Xbox Live was still in beta, it would have been good. If it was a co-op game, it would have been good because it was a team-based shooter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it wasn't terrible. I shouldn't say that. It was okay.
It's all right.
It was all right. Shit, bring back. Hey, give us some Ninja Gaiden. Woo.
Well, you've had attempts at Ninja Gaiden and just
they haven't been successful, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? They should have Al. They should have Al head up the studio for a Blinks the Cat remake, a remaster. Do you hear that, Al? He'd be perfect for it.
I'm gonna tell you how to save Xbox right now. Not that it needs saving. I'm just joking.
Hey, be careful saying that, man. People are
I know, right?
I love that.
What do you mean he's
They're gonna be like, off with your head.
Phil's coming out E3 and he's announcing a remastered, updated version of Devil's Third. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, he's gonna come back.
It's trapped on the Wii U. More people need to play it. It needs to live.
Yeah,
it's the B movie of video games. Let's go. Lock it in.
Yeah. What's interesting, man, is what you said earlier about the relationship Sony has with the Japanese developers. There's some big franchises out there like Dragon Quest.
Oh yeah.
We know that the next Dragon Quest
11 is it's good smacking.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the Switch.
It is.
Switch.
And but on the Xbox, I'm like,
Yeah. But that's what I was saying. He's got to go out there and try to even the playing field, man. That's probably the best thing he can do. If he can ensure that games like that are released on his platform, hey, that's a win for me, man.
It's a good way to expand your base. I'm telling you, appeal to different tastes, build out a diverse catalog portfolio of of content.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really, you know, I think we're starting to see this. You can't go back to the well. You can't go to Halo all the time or Gears. We're seeing, look what Sony's doing. This is why I brought up the original topic this evening, with, you know, Sony putting out better exclusive content. I think they are, and I know there's people out there that are going to disagree with me and go crazy and say I'm on the pony dust and tell me I'm a neutral, I'm a turncoat. You know what? You can call me all those things. I'm a gamer. I go where the games are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
you know what, like real talk. You know, if they're gonna do like some OG Xbox remasters, a true like remastered Ninja Gaiden, the OG would be dope.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, that Ninja Gaiden on the OG Xbox was awesome.
It's still awesome. That game holds up really well.
Yeah,
and it could be just as hard as playing like Dark Souls. So you know, I mean, it could survive in this climate of today's hard games.
Was that in the controller smashing days, B?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I know. I almost launched a few of that game, man. Like
that game was not. It was not easy.
Nah, man, not at all.
Yeah, Fastback says I like it pony style.
Here we go.
No, I don't like it pony style. Shit, give us Mechasol. Give us like Mechasol 3 or do a reboot.
I think that could happen.
You know, if
that is very possible.
You're big on online. Drop some big fucking mechs. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, Crimson Skies could happen.
Yeah, Crimson Skies.
You know. So hey, here we go. I mean, let's go. It's Phil's E3. Sky's the limit.
Let's see what happens, people.
I'm throwing my hands up right now. You can't see it.
I'm throwing. Yeah, me too. I'm on my hands and knees. I'm praying. Yeah, so we'll see. But you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But again, moral of the story is, folks, it's okay to be a consumer. Don't get triggered.
Yeah, don't get triggered.
Don't get triggered. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it in terms of topics.
No, man, we got one more.
Do we?
Oh,
we do.
Let's go.
All right, what is it?
What about them Bethesda games, man?
Oh.
Let's talk on it.
Bethesda's dropping some doggy style. Sam, why don't you run with this, man?
Come on, Sam. Bring us back. Bring us back, man. Bring us back.
Sam, save us, Sam.
So,
what is
Bethesda?
Donkey style? Fastback just said donkey style. I don't know what that is.
Bethesda has quite a few irons.
Oh, we need
in
to
the
go
fire.
Tijuana.
They have quite a few things cooking on the stove. I mean, obviously, there's some projects we know about, right? So, Wolfenstein: The New Colossus.
Woo!
That is coming. I'm going to make a prediction that's coming this year.
I'm with you, Sam.
They teased it last year. They have a great turnaround time. You know, Machine Games, they know what they're doing. Yeah, it's coming this year.
I agree. I think so.
And I mean, if the New Order and the Old Blood are any indicator, they don't really. They could launch that this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I honestly think.
Yeah.
Like before maybe all the rest of the heavy hitters like Battlefront 2 and Destiny 2, but nonetheless.
So September, early October.
September, maybe the earliest week of October.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's coming. We know Quake is coming. I don't think many people really care about that one, but that's a very, very PC elitist title. You know, that's a PC arena shooter, and then we know Fallout 4 VR is coming. All right, and that's in development. We already know that's going to be on high-end PCs and Scorpio VR. So that begs the question: what are all the rest of these games? That only accounts for 3.
Yeah.
They got evidently 4 more.
Well, my man Anchorman thinks that they are working on a game called Starfield. Don't know much about it, but he's been talking about it for quite a bit.
Is that the real name?
Well, that's a project name, I believe.
Okay.
But
yeah, he just said Starfield in the chat.
Yeah, he just put it in there. So shout out to Anchorman, big Bethesda fanboy over there. But yeah, he's been talking about Starfield, so that's probably one of the new IPs that they've been working on. Hopefully Tango's working on Evil Within 2. Highly slept on game.
In my backlog, started it, gotta finish it.
Yeah.
Always on sale. Pick it up.
Yeah, I haven't even played that yet.
But beyond that, I'm not really sure, man. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think.
I'm
Bethesda's
sure
working on a license.
Elder Scrolls is somewhere in there.
That's
They're
in there.
working on a license game.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls definitely there.
They're doing The Wire.
The what?
The Wire.
The Wire.
Remember I made the prediction that Telltale was going to do Oz and The Wire for last E3, and that never came true?
Yeah.
Now Bethesda's going to do a Wire video game. Somebody's going to do a Wire game, damn it. Let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know what the opening scene will be, what's his face? Shaking his finger no.
Proposition Joe.
Yeah, Prop Joe.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, yeah, I agree with the Wolfenstein thing. I think that's going to happen. I think you guys are right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yo.
Hey, what's up, Cal?
What's up, man?
I apologize, man. I fell asleep.
No
I got a 5-month-old daughter that got me up like 6, 7 a.m. and then the 4-year-old, bro. I just be so exhausted, man.
Oh man, no worries, man.
You know how that is, bro.
Yeah, we're a lot of us are there, man. Already, we get it.
Yeah, am I coming through pretty good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry I missed the show and everything like that. I do apologize. I definitely try to make the next one. What did I miss though?
Well, we're just actually wrapping up right now, but
Okay.
we did talk about actually we brought up a little bit. We talked about the Xbox exclusives. Sony. How Sony is putting out a lot of exclusive content right now.
Mhm.
Talked a little bit about that. Some of the things that you actually brought up on Twitter as well when you were doing stuff about Microsoft.
Right.
We talked about potentially the need for them to kind of maybe allow some of their studios. We really talked about like Guerrilla Games. How they kind of really just pivoted from making Killzone to making this brand new IP and it coming out stellar. I mean, they did the same thing with Naughty Dog. I mean, Naughty Dog went from Jack and Dexter to Uncharted.
Right.
So and then we talked about them going to Halo and Gears consistently, and maybe it's time for them to invest maybe some new IPs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously I had a Dave Chappelle moment when it was like keeping the real goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up here saying to myself, but I was in the chat with it. I'm sorry, my son is bugging out in the background. Give me 1 second.
Yep, no worries. Our cat mod is leaving. Good night, Al.
Appreciate you, Al.
I was like,
So,
bouncing
Al
at the
comes
door,
through,
man.
I was like, I gotta go.
I was sitting those girls outside in the club who keep taking their shoes off on the dance floor. You gotta go.
You gotta go. God.
Not the kind of establishment we're running here.
Right.
That's the kind of establishment you're running here.
I saw this bouncer once, man, down at Fort Lauderdale, pick this girl up. Like how Fred Flintstone put Dino out on the porch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just picked her up and like used her to part the crowd. And sat her outside. I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, just to wrap up, the reason why I said what I said yesterday, I happened to be in a party with my homie Inferno. Shout out to Inferno, and we were just talking. We were just talking about games. We were talking about Xbox and stuff like that, and talking about how 6 months is such a long way from Microsoft presenting anything when it comes to Xbox and trying to keep people interested in Xbox. And I get Microsoft released some titles last holiday, and they were great. Don't get me wrong. Forza Horizon 3, amazing racing franchise. They really stepped up. Forza as a Turn 10 Studios Playground. As a studio, the Forza franchise broke $1 billion. That's impressive. But like I said on my last show, you got to keep that in perspective. We're talking about a franchise that started on the OG Xbox and now has broken 1 million on the third iteration of Xbox. For perspective, Gears 1, 2, and 3 broke $1 billion by itself. So it tells you not that the franchise isn't great, isn't good, it's amazing. It's, in my opinion, King of Racers, but it took a while to get there. But regardless, it made it and it deserves its credit. But I sat here just talking to him, and I'm sitting here saying to myself, you had the thing with Scalebound being canceled, you had the thing with Fable Legends is gone, Lionhead has been let go. And on top of that, Lionhead didn't even want to do Fable Legends. They wanted to do Fable 4. But, Fable Legends wound up getting canceled. The studio wound up getting closed down. You let go of, what's the studio who made Matt's Curse of Brotherhood?
Is it Creative?
No, it's something Play.
Press Play. Press Play.
Press Play. You let go of Press Play that produced 2 platformers for you that were really good in Kalimba and Matt's Curse of Brotherhood. And in the end, you're looking at the next 6 months. You've just released Halo Wars 2. Now, this is my perspective. You understand where I'm coming from as a Xbox gamer, right? And then I'm going to flip the script. And I want you to think about this and why I find so many Xbox guys just a bit hypocritical. Just very quickly. So I don't play RTSs. I'm not a fan of Halo. I'm not a fan of Halo Wars. I understand Halo Wars is a great game for some people. I understand they like RTSs. I'm not a fan of RTS games. So for me, right, the next set of games coming out is Phantom Dust, which is an OG Xbox game. That's an OG Xbox game. Voodoo Vince, which is an OG Xbox game. And that's all I know of until June 2017. Right?
Yeah.
And what are those 2 released?
Huh?
What are those 2 released, Voodoo Vince and Phantom Dust?
They're supposed to come out before E3.
Okay.
So
we haven't even heard
between
anything.
that time. That's what I'm saying. So between that time, you have those 2 titles, right? There's no major. We don't know when Cuphead's coming out. Below is in limbo, so I don't even know when Below is ever going to come out. There's a lot of indie titles that were on the ID Xbox program, released on PlayStation, didn't release on Xbox. So I don't know what's happening there. There's a lot of questions that people are ignoring. And the more I started to sit there and think about it, I said, why the hell in the next 6 months do I want to play 2 OG Xbox games that I have no interest in? I don't know anybody who has, but no disrespect to Phil Spencer, no one I know have ever had an interest in Voodoo Vince. People ask for Mech Assault, people ask for Crimson Skies, Blinks the Cat. You got guys asking for
Conquer.
Conquer, Banjo. Voodoo Vince comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy about that, right? Phantom Dust was a game I was excited about because they showed the original game. It was new, it was refreshed, it was a reboot. I know nothing about Phantom Dust. So for it to go back to its original state, sure, it has a little bump here and there, but based on what my team reported on, it's coming in at 480p assets. That's actually lower than most indie games today. And even if it does play well, I honestly don't have an interest in an arena brawler. So for me, that's probably not something I'm going to pick up either. So literally for 6 months, I don't have anything to play besides whatever I get multi-plat-wise. And that's fine. That can hold me over. But the point that I was trying to make was that I look at what Sony was doing. I also had an interview with Adam Boyce. A lot of people don't know that. And unfortunately, the interview with Adam Boyce didn't go the way I wanted it to because we had an error at recording the information. But it was such a juicy interview because we got a chance to understand how Sony thought. And when I listened to what he said and the things he did to get the games they got, it made me sit there and question, what is Microsoft doing and why aren't they doing it too? That's the reason why I brought it up. Everybody's like, oh, Kal-El, you so what, Horizon Zero Dawn got great scores. I don't give a damn about Horizon Zero Dawn. I wasn't even thinking about that. I don't even know what y'all talking about. I'm sitting here in a party chat trying to figure out, you know, what is Microsoft delivering that the fans truly want. We gotten a Halo game since the release of the Xbox, like a Halo game every year since the release of Xbox One. Not saying it was actually Halo with Master Chief, but you've gotten an iteration of some sort of sub Halo or a Halo game since then. Forza's every year, and Gears came out once. That's what you've gotten every year. Then you've gotten a few new IPs. You know, you've had Rise. Microsoft don't own that. Sunset Overdrive. Microsoft don't own that. Quantum Break, which is solid, pretty good game, but kind of relying on Remedy to make a sequel or want to continue that franchise. You got Scalebound, which got canceled, but even if that didn't get canceled, once again, you're relying on third party to continue that franchise and stuff like that. You shut down first party studios, and for me, it became a snowball effect. You understand what I'm saying? So the snowball effect started to just accumulate, and I'm sitting here saying to myself, you know, I love what Microsoft has been doing, but somewhere along the lines, it's kind of balled into this big snowball, and now a lot of the things that they messed up on is starting to pile up, and it's not a good look. And I felt like Microsoft was holding Xbox back because they want them to do what they want them to do.
So, Cal,
Not
real quick,
what Xbox should be doing.
Just to kind of like piggyback what you just said, there was, and I mentioned this earlier, there was an interview with Ed Freeze, and he talks about the success of Halo. And this was with Ryan McCaffrey, and he said that after the success of Halo, Microsoft took notice of Xbox, and they jumped into it. They saw the opportunity for them to make money, and they were pushing Ed Freeze and the Bungie team to release Halo 2 early because they wanted to cash in on the success of Halo. And I get that. And Ed's like, no. He's like, hell no, we're not going to do that. The game's not even ready.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. Potentially ruin the franchise. We're not doing that. He goes in, and he basically said, either you honor the original agreement of the release date of Halo 2 and let us complete this game, or else I'm gone. I'm leaving. And they were like, you know what? No, we don't want you to leave. We'll honor the agreement. We'll let Bungie finish the game on time. They did it, right?
Right.
And he shortly left after that. And one of the reasons why he left is because the suits started getting involved in a lot of the decisions. And I think we said this earlier. Like my concern now, and I'd be curious to hear what Adam Boyce said about how they do things at Sony, because I think a lot of people would like to hear that.
This is what one of the things he talked about. Because I asked him, I said, how did the whole Shenmue thing come about? Because I wanted to know, because I was a big proponent for trying to get Shenmue back on Xbox. And I spoke to Phil, and a lot of people spoke to Phil numerous times about getting it. And I even heard a rumor that Phil had the opportunity to get it, and he turned it down, fearing that it wouldn't sell on Xbox. Now, that's a rumor. That's not a fact. So don't take that as a word. I'm just saying that's what I heard. I'm not saying it's true. It's just what I heard. But at the end of the day, Adam Boyce sat up there and told me, he said, as all the Sony fans kept clamoring for the top titles they want to get, the number one thing that kept coming up every time he saw information that came to him was that they want Shenmue. That's what they kept saying. They want Shenmue. That was the number one game. It wasn't Final Fantasy VII. It was Shenmue. Everybody kept asking for Shenmue. So he said, this is exactly what he told me. He said, him and his team helped Shenmue get from a bunch of red tape between Sega and the original Shenmue team to get that game literally released and actually start the ball rolling on trying to get it done. But they wouldn't back the game unless they made the game become a Kickstarter. So that way they can gauge how many people are actually interested in the game. And if the Kickstarter met its goal, they would then back the project and fund a console version for the PlayStation 4. But they helped that game. They helped that. And it wasn't like Sega said, okay, let's bring back Shenmue. Sony helped that game get to where it is without even financially doing anything yet. They cut through the red tape, whatever it was that they had to cut through to get the game released from any other licensing agreements or financial obligations to allow it to be remade and be released on the PlayStation 4. And the reason why I said that's crazy to me, because they went above and beyond to get that one game. Even if that game doesn't sell, what that did was buy you loyalty with your base.
But doesn't also
They
buy
understand-
you with developers too, like that. I gotta imagine like, that stuff resonates in the development community.
It does. Then you turn around, whether they got Crash, timed exclusive, whatever, you brought Crash back. It may be a big deal to some, it may not be a big deal to anyone. But you wind up bringing Crash back. Then you got Final Fantasy VII. You're playing a nostalgia factor on people's heartstrings. But at the end of the day, even if those games don't sell, what you've done is created a sense that you are willing to do anything to appease your fans. And I'm saying, you got all your Xbox fans asking for Banjo and Conquer and Mechasol and Kotard, but we're getting Voodoo Vince and Phantom Dust. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the games that the fans want to be rebooted and want to be revived aren't being rebooted and revived. So who's listening? Sony's had an MLB baseball game for decades. You got Xbox fans asking for a baseball game. If you're an American and you love baseball, there's only one place to get a baseball game.
You know the story on that.
Consoles.
A real baseball game.
A real baseball game, right? There's only one console you can get that on. That could be 100,000 people that you just lost sales on because they know that only PlayStation has the only baseball game on the market.
But it isn't, because MLB loses money every year.
Well, either way, if you want a baseball game, a Major League Baseball game, that's where you go. And people do that.
It almost seems like, and I keep thinking about this at Free Stories, that Microsoft's more risk adverse. Like, they don't want to lose money, and I want to say they're pressuring, and I don't know. This is just me speculating. It's almost like they're pressuring that division, the Xbox division. Hey, you guys need to give us our next Halo, or give us the next big game that's gonna next Minecraft, or give us the next big game that's gonna generate 400, 500 million off the bat, as opposed
that's what I'm saying.
As opposed to what Sony's doing. Hey, you know what? If we take a hit, we're giving the fans what we want. We're buying loyalty too. They're going to buy our consoles. They're going to buy other software, right? I mean, look at the attach rate of the PlayStation 4 right now. I mean, it's what, 7.5?
That's mainly my point. That's the main point that I was trying to make. It wasn't that I think Xbox is doing anything wrong. I think them trying to invest in new IPs is the right thing to do. Build first party is the right thing to do. Giving access to people and giving access to people to play games anywhere on your software and your OS is the right thing to do. Though I am not a fan, and since day one, I've always said this, I'm a console gamer at heart. I'm not a PC gamer. So for me, I've never been a fan of putting games on PC at all, whether exclusives, or time exclusives, whatever it is. To me, I thought it was more beneficial for the console. But I understand as a business what you have to do, so I get it and I support it. But at the end of the day, Microsoft, in my opinion, and this is exactly what I said, I believe on Twitter that Microsoft is holding Xbox back. Not that Xbox is doing anything wrong. It's the suits. Phil has to answer to some people. When Phil gives you answers like I can't talk to EA because of it's a third party game with Kotar. When you got a company that has all the money in the world, you could throw stacks to get Kotar. Even if you take a loss, that's a loyalty move. That's a loyalty move that you do for your base. Just like Sony does a loyalty move that they do for that. The Last Guardian was probably a big ass hole of debt. That's a big ass hole of debt. That game didn't even sell. It literally flopped, but it showed that Sony is dedicated to the fans, and that's why they have loyalty. That's why fans feel like Sony can do no wrong even when they do wrong, because they still try to deliver. For me, I think Microsoft and the suits are holding Microsoft back budget-wise, finance-wise. They're playing it safe, pumping out Halo so they can have consistent money and keep the board happy. And that's why I'm like, if Xbox spun off on its own, I think it would be better. I don't know if they'll survive, but I think it would be better because I feel like they'd be able to do what they want to do as a video game company. than being a part of Microsoft, just a small part of Microsoft in a big conglomerate.
Yeah, Cal, I agree with you, and Eric and I have actually have had this same conversation where we also have to remember something. Microsoft doesn't need Xbox. They don't need them. Sony needs PlayStation.
Yep.
And that's a huge difference in terms of motivating and like what you said with Adam going out of their way to make Shenmue happen. I mean, they need this console more than Microsoft needs the Xbox.
And that's why they do what they do.
Yeah. Cal, we gotta wrap up, but dude, we gotta get you back on the show, man. There's some people in the chat that want to hear more about the Boyce interview and what he had to say. I'm interested too.
Yeah.
It was crazy. He talked about the whole dissing Xbox with the how you share games, and that was how that came about. It was a really dope interview. We're gonna do it again though. We're gonna do the interview and re-record it sometime over the next couple of weeks though. But it's unfortunate that I wasn't able to get the full interview recorded properly.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. So we'll have to get you back on again, man, because this is a great conversation. We did talk about it a little bit, but you gave us some more insight. With what Sony's doing, what you think Microsoft's doing. I know, at least for me, I agree with a lot of what you said. And it's funny because I did see some people kind of like giving you heat about it. I'm thinking to myself, well, why are they giving me heat? Like you first of all, you're a consumer first.
Right.
So you're speaking and thinking as a consumer. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't understand why people can't understand that fact that at the end of the day, before we're gamers, we're consumers. And it's okay to have or have constructive criticism towards the brands that we support if they're not living up to our expectations.
I'm a passionate guy, man. I look, B knows, man. I started the Xbox podcast for a reason, because I wanted to support it when everybody else was getting down on it, and the information that was going out against it was wrong. And I wanted to be truthful about everything that was coming out with Xbox. At the same time, I'm not a yes man. I'm not going to kiss people's butts. Even if I know Phil, even if I know all these executives and I talk with them and I chat with them, that doesn't mean that I have to be like, oh my God, I have to do this in order to appease those guys. Like, if they can't respect my opinion on what they're doing wrong or what I feel they need to be doing better, then I don't know that I would be true to myself as a podcaster and as somebody that people listen to. I don't think I would earn that respect. I'm not as big as a BGST. I'm not as big as, some of these other guys or whatever and stuff like that. But the one thing I try to do is I try to make sure that whatever we do, we are honest, and, everything we do is either factual, logical, or we have some sort of evidence to back up what we're talking about. And to me, that's really important, because all I got is my name. That's all I got. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So everything I do, it has to be to the point that people believe what I'm saying and they respect my honesty and my passion. And I would never do anything to try to hurt the brand. So if I'm telling you something or I'm feeling a certain way, don't be offended. If you don't agree, that's fine. You don't have to agree. But at the same time, I care. That's the reason why I respond and say the things I do, because I don't want to see Xbox disappear. I don't want to see less people buying the platform. I want to see more people buying the platform. And I think there's certain things Microsoft needs to do as consumers, because as consumers, we sort of think of like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if I'm thinking a certain way, I can tell you there's a couple million people that's probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, Cal, man, thank you for for joining us tonight, man. We appreciate it. We definitely have to get you back on, though, man, sooner than later, to finish this conversation. But I also want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. The chat was great this evening. Great conversation. We had a couple individuals pop in that were.
We've never had problems like that before.
Yeah. These guys were kind of trolling a little bit, and so I know
it's a crazy week, man. Crazy week, Sam.
It's like a full mood or something. Sam and Al.
It's all crazy.
Yeah, Sam and Al were quick to give those guys the ban hammer. So we don't do that fanboy stuff here. We don't do that. So, but big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Be sure to, if you haven't subscribed to us yet, give us a sub, give us a thumbs up, tell your friends about us. We're not the biggest channel, but we keep it real, talk video games, have a good time doing it, and appreciate all the support. So, Cal, thank you again. Be Muddy, Eric, Sam, thank you as always, and we'll catch everyone next Wednesday again at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, I'll be streaming midnight on the 28th, Horizon Zero Dawn. So check that out. Hopefully I don't fall asleep on the stream. So
I hope you do.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Right?
We'll laugh.
We get snoring. Yeah. All right, we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.